This is Craig Satterley in the basement, and this is take one for the week of June 21. Peace be with you. I'm spending a lot of time these days listening to and praying for and with pastors and congregational leaders who are moving toward returning to in-person worship. I'm really impressed with the care, the thoughtfulness, the prayer, the deliberateness with which congregational leaders are making a plan for reopening. If you want to use that word, thank you. I want to applaud those efforts. I'm a bit concerned because I'm hearing about parishioners who just decide they don't want to play by the rules and they're going to do it their way. And we're trying to figure out, how do you respond to that? Do you shut down for a couple of weeks? And you know, where I keep going is to the commandments and Luther's explanation that under the commandment we shall not kill, that we have a responsibility to protect our neighbor. So while you may not want to wear a mask or keep social distance because you've decided that's a political agenda rather than a public health agenda, we need to love our neighbor. And if for no other reason, respect the rules or the protocols that congregational leaders and the pastor have put in place. So I hope you'll do that. In the meantime, I'm really grateful for the work that congregational leaders and pastors have done to make plans to return to in-person worship. And I guess I would say to us all that congregations and pastors are at different places using different timelines and different comfort levels. It's interesting, I saw a survey from another synod this week that showed that while 70% of respondents want the church to return to in-person worship, only 30% said that they would come. So this is a very complex issue, and so we all need to be patient with each other. I have about 12 Zoom meetings this week, and after a couple of church-wide Zoom meetings last week, I decided or determined, or basically Kathy told me, that I am ready for a break, and I think that's right. A friend of mine said to me, when was the last time you powered off your phone and took some time away? And that's a good question. And so beginning Thursday, the 2nd of July, I think it is, I'm going to take a week of quote-unquote vacation, which means not going anywhere, but it means that I don't need to be attentive to Zoom and to email in the same way. I'm grateful that Pastor David and Roseanne are on hand to keep the home fires going. And I'm hoping that they also will get a turn to take a week away. The reading for Sunday has been a little confounded. I get to do the preaching this week, so I don't want to give my whole sermon away. But after last week's gospel reading from Matthew, which I think had too much for one sermon, we get 3 verses this week. Matthew 10:40-42, I believe it is. And Jesus says, whoever welcomes you welcomes me, and whoever welcomes me welcomes the one who sent me. And then he talks about welcoming a prophet and a righteous person, and welcoming, giving a cup of cold water to a little one in the name of a disciple. And so what I find myself doing is putting myself in the position of not the one who's being welcomed, but the one who would be doing the welcoming. And there the good news is that Jesus sends people to me. Jesus sends people to us who bring the good news of the gospel. And what we get to do is welcome them. So what does it mean to welcome those whom Jesus sends, and in so doing to welcome Jesus, and to welcome Jesus, but to welcome God? So that's one question that I'm pondering. The other question that I'm pondering is Jesus says, whoever welcomes The prophet, for example, in the name of a prophet will receive the prophet's reward, and whoever gives a cup of cold water to one of these little ones in the name of a disciple will not lose the reward. So I'm mindful that for Lutherans, at least, reward is not a helpful word because it leads to works righteousness. We think that we do good works to earn a reward from God, and we can't do that. It's just not possible. So what does Jesus mean by reward? I don't know the answer yet. But the good news that's shaping up for me is that Jesus sends people to me, Jesus sends people to us, and that we get to welcome them. And I want to know what it means to welcome and what this reward is. So that's where my sermon preparation is going this week. If you're a pastor, or if you as a pastor want to use my sermon instead of yours, because you would like a few days off, email communications@mittensynod.org, and we will send you the link on Wednesday. And if you don't have the opportunity to see my sermon or Pastor Roseanne or Pastor David on other weeks, and you want to, please know that we release the sermon on our YouTube page, the Synod YouTube page, Sunday about noon when church is over, so that everybody can see the sermon. So that's kind of what my week looks like. Getting through some Zoom meetings and getting to next Thursday so that I can have some days off. Please know that I'm holding you in prayer, and especially those who are beginning the process of returning to their church buildings and to in-person worship. Please be safe. Please abide by the protocols, and please know that we are here to be of help if we can, and know that you are in our prayers. The peace of Christ be with you always. God bless.